Hey, morning, everyone. We are live. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties with one of our guests, but I got first time on the live. I got Donato Callahan here from Bright Investor, and I got Kevin from Self Storage Ventures again on X. But I got all you guys links in the comments right now, so go check out Bright Investor. Let's test this out real quick. See if Stan can come back in and see if it's better.
Any better now?
No, man, it's
It's
you can hear all
you can
kinds
hear
of
all
stuff
kinds
on
of
your
stuff on
end.
your end.
Uh,
Okay, sorry, man. I gotta bounce you off of this, or you're in the background, Stan.
It's kind of
But
cool though.
morning,
It's like
everyone.
we're
Yeah,
doing it in
welcome,
an
guys.
airplane or something when he comes in.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. But yeah, welcome, guys. So, sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with things. We are gonna kind of go over maybe like real estate 101 or, kind of what can people do to elevate their game right now. So, I don't know if you've heard of Bright Investor, Kevin, but Donato has this his company, Bright Investor. It definitely makes things a lot easier finding deals, off market stuff. But yeah, Donato, I don't know if you can share your screen or do you have anything to kind of show real quick about what Bright Investor can do?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do something like that. Can I just go ahead and share my screen with
Yeah,
right
I
now?
think he'll pop up and then
And
I'll.
in anticipation of this episode, I went ahead and got the free trial to Bright Investor a
Ooh,
couple
Oh, look
days
at
ago. So I've been messing
very
around with
nice.
it.
Sweet. So I'll showcase this. You guys see my screen?
um,
Not
I
yet.
hit I hit the show screen. How come it didn't come up? Do you have to hit something else? Because I
Let me know
hit
if you
the
can see
show.
that.
Not yet. Can you try to do it? Because I hit the show screen, but it didn't pop up yet.
Let me try again.
Yeah.
All right, testing. Can you guys see this?
Not yet. There we go.
There
Yep.
we go.
Okay. So yeah, so this is so Brand Investor. Our mission is to help people find great deals in great areas. And so for the last like year and a half, we've been really working on how to make sure you find the great areas with crime stats, appreciation, things of that nature. And in about 10 days, we're launching the kind of second part of that equation, which is find great deals. And so with our launch event on August 8th at 8 Eastern, we're launching our brand new Bright Report, which is what this is. So essentially, we have a database of nationwide of 150 million on and off market properties, and by simply entering the address in to a property in our search bar, you get this report. And what this does is very quickly give you all the information about what the property is doing and information about the deal itself, including instant access to skip trace information to get the phone numbers of the seller. Then Brand Investor will actually go ahead and comp the property for you. So instead of having to manually do the comps and pull through a lot of different websites, it will comp it out for you right here inside the app, and then goes a step further to then actually give you rent comps. So we partner with Rentometer to tell you both what the property's worth and what it would rent for. Then, because the next step is typically analyzing the deal or running the numbers, we actually built in an automatic deal analyzer. And for up to 6 different strategies, from conservative to aggressive, it'll actually take all the data we have and analyze the deal for you. That you can, of course, overwrite if you want, but it will have completely populated information without you having to click a single button. Before finally, it pulls all the market research for that area so you know how hot or how cold the market is around that specific deal, and give people the opportunity to get in touch with you by putting your own branding out at the bottom. So when you have a driving for dollars or an agent sends you a deal and you want to learn more about the deal, just type in the address and in 30 seconds you have a report. Or if you're trying to sell a deal like a wholesaler or a flipper, you simply type in your address of your deal, get this report, and send it out. But it now becomes this kind of one-stop shop of being able to find, comp, rent comp, analyze, share deals to get funding, sell deals, make phone calls, and then also check the local area around a property nationwide. So that's a little bit about what we do, and we're excited to launch this feature in about 10 days.
It's some cool stuff. Did you get to play around with it, Kevin?
I did. I was messing around with it last night, actually. Um, I was just trying to get familiar with the platform and the site, but it seems like there's a lot of cool, useful tools on there.
Yeah. I mean, I think definitely the way, the market is right now, I mean, I think it helps a lot of people kind of streamline things and not have like 10 different tabs open it makes it a lot easier to kind of get a buy box built and whatnot and kind of simplify things. So um, how's things going as far as like I guess I know Donato last time we talked, there's a lot of updates coming, things like
Mhm.
that. So you're saying what you just mentioned, like how many days or
It's about 10 days from now. We're launching that new component, the Bright Report. So right now on the app, if you're in a free trial checking it out, you don't get sales comps, you don't get rent comps, you don't get skip tracing, you don't get the Bright Reports, and you can't directly look up a property. So all that's coming out in just a few days, which we're pretty excited for. And we've been able to set up for those of you who are in real estate mentorship groups or coaching groups, be able to partner with around 15 people over the next 6 weeks to come and do workshops on how this new system works and how it helps people in their residential real estate journeys. So we'll be making a big splash and sponsoring a couple of key events with this new tech.
is there going to be ever self-storage stuff in there available? Because Kevin is moving more towards
I did see
self-storage.
on there that you can search for different businesses, and storage is one of them. So you can at least do what you can do on Google Maps, right? And you can find storage facilities, which was kind of cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we added that in for some folks who Bree is an example, a friend of ours that does self-storage. And so she wanted to see, hey, can I find self-storage facilities in there? And so we added that in. And we try to hit folks where if you're doing short-term to mid-term rentals, great. Well, here's the crime, here's the hospitals, here's local businesses around there, key franchises, things like that. And then for long-term, making sure the area has demand, being able to make sure that the appreciation is going in the right direction, job growth is going in the right direction, income is going in the right direction. All I like to say that with every click, you lower the risk, in Bright Investor. You just know more, and you're able to just continue to make sure that your approach and your investment is going to be as streamlined and as likely to succeed as possible.
I love it. And I just want to give a shout out to Janitor on Fire who's in the comments. He's a big Batman fan, so he liked the thumbnail that I put out there with Batman. So I had to give. Oh, and go check out his YouTube channel. He has this cool YouTube channel about small post offices around the country, and his channel's growing pretty fast, man. He's up to like 120, maybe 130 by now, but he just started it and it's growing pretty quick. So go check him out. And I'm waiting for Kevin's channel to come out, like a self storage one.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So how you guys doing, man? I haven't talked to you guys in a while. How's everything going on? Are you guys finding any deals out there? How's the self-storage space, Kev?
It's good. I mean, it's definitely it's been more difficult to find deals. I shouldn't say that. It's been more difficult to find good deals.
I found lots of properties, right?
Yeah. So we have taken the approach of, hey, we are just going to underwrite these and we are going to offer what works for us on these properties, even if that is 20, 30, 50% below what they're selling for. And a few years ago when we would have no response back from called a low ball offer like that, we are now actually getting into conversations. So from that point of view, I think what's happening is that sellers are still listing high, hoping that they're going to pull that, 2021, 2022 dollar amount from somebody. But I think they're getting more realistic as lower offers come in and they're willing to have those conversations. So it's been interesting. We closed on a couple in April, and we haven't closed on another one since. So we're looking to definitely find something here in the next couple of months, ideally. But we're not going to change our underwriting model just to buy a self-storage facility. We're gonna be conservative, and hopefully one comes through.
Cool. And wealth building journey. Chester stopped by. I don't know if you remember him, Donato. He was in the kind of that Zoom call, so he purchased Bright Investor that day. I don't know if he got his hour call in yet, but Chester is under contract for his first deal in Detroit, and he got his inspection report back. So I think that's what he's probably dealing with right now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So he says there will always be more money than deals, and
Very
he
true.
also tells Kevin, call it what it is, a wish pricing, right? For these people that put their properties on the market, and they're looking for a certain price a lot of times, right? So And like you're saying, you're putting in lowball or disrespectful offers, and just to see if the door opens, right? And if they call you back, and if not, you don't have to make a move, right? But yeah, I mean, Donato too. How's the apparel side going? I know last time we talked, you guys launched for Bright Investor. There was a bunch of apparel and kind of real estate focused shirts and things like that. How's that going for you guys?
Yeah, so it's brightinvestorstore.com, but we so after that meeting we had with your group, we added some more shirt designs on the store, which was really cool. And we actually just received an invitation to sponsor an event for Black and Brown minority real estate investors. It's an event, I think, in Atlanta in a couple months from now. They saw our store and we're donating 50 shirts to their VIP attendees and speakers in exchange for a sponsorship package. They love the merch. They want to start filming content with it and getting it out on social media. So we're doing that now. That's going to, and then we're sponsoring 2 events in October that we should be getting the shirts out for. Pretty excited about that. And then deal finding wise. So Kevin, I also do commercial real estate investing aside my residential. So I do multifamily syndication. And just last week, crazy week, I submitted an offer on a 18.5 million, 165 unit deal in Columbia, South Carolina. Be my 3rd asset, and we got invited to best and final. So just last night, I submitted our best and final offer on the deal. Came up about $200,000 to 18.7, but they wanted 20.5. And the broker is saying, "Oh, come on, can you get to 19? How about 19.5?" I'm like, "Are you the one raising money for this? No, then shut up." Then no, let's go ahead and no. And so he's like, oh, "Okay, well," he's like, we got to come up for 18.5. I'm like, "Okay, great. Well, thanks." So I just got a call this morning that, hey, from his partner saying, "Hey, man, your hard money looks great. Your pricing looks great. Here, let me have a couple questions for you. We'll get back to you tonight after calling ownership." So I am currently in anticipation of winning that deal tonight, which would be awesome. Our last acquisition was 3 months ago. It was a 200 unit in San Antonio. So I'm hoping that this will be our next one down the pipeline. So
that's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. Keep doing the work, man. I love it.
Keep it up. Trying our best. But a lot of that is wish pricing, and very often in my underwriting, over the last year, I've probably looked at 4,000 deals and offered on a handful because my underwriting's coming in 20% lower. And my thought is if I'm within 10%, usually it's worth me taking a look at. So on this one, they wanted 20.5, around low to mid 18s, like that. Okay, that makes sense. I can push for that, and getting a lot of different debt quotes, getting my insurance dialed in allows us to be a little bit more competitive. And yeah, it's something where it's definitely been a lot of at bats, trying to find something that even pencils right now. And then ignoring the brokers when they flat out lie to you on what the pricing needs to be, and then just offering where it makes sense.
Yeah. South Carolina, we own a storage facility not far from Columbia. South Carolina can be tough just because of the property tax. They have separate investor rates than they do resident rates, and that can add 1% or 2 to your underwriting. Yeah.
So on our deal, basically, I have we had to double the property taxes. We had to double the property taxes on this odd deal. So we're going from a little over $200,000 to more than $400,000 on this deal. So we had to definitely account for that, which was it hurt. Absolutely, It hurt.
Yeah. So how long? I just haven't met you yet. How long have you been working on Bright Investor, and how did that come about? I'd love to hear.
Yeah, so Bright Investor started the early prototypes when I was a senior in college, showed them in summer 2021. So a little bit less than 3 years now. And we've been in development since the beginning of 2022. So about 2.5 years. And we've been on the market for a little over a year now. So it started with me in Idaho, knowing I'm moving to St. Louis, wanting to start real estate investing, and having issues where I don't know where to invest. All I hear is headlines about crime in St. Louis or issues and things like that. So I wanted to build a solution that allowed me to really quickly figure out if I wanted to be there or not. And that started with Bright Investor. And over time, it's simply grown and expanded and grown and expanded, and listening to our clients and learning what it is they really need on a day-to-day basis, and adding more to the platform to get to where it is today.
Awesome, man. So you're 20. So how old are you?
I'm 24.
You're
Yeah.
24, and you're potentially buying an $18 million apartment complex.
That's what
Yeah,
said.
I have
South
I have a
Carolina.
172 unit and a 200 unit, and then a 4 unit here in St. Louis. To be fair, I turned 25 in 4 days, so I'm almost 25.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Much more realistic.
Well, quick question. Chester has a question. He says he hasn't had his call yet, but he's getting the emails for the Zoom for Bright Investor, the meetings, and he clicks on it. It doesn't have any information. He says
Okay.
one example is the August 8th instant deal analysis, and you click on it and nothing happens.
Okay, we'll take a look at that. It's supposed to be adding it to your calendar, Chester. So if you want to shoot me an email at donato@brightinvestor.com, I'll happily get in a call with you today. And if you want to show me what happens when it clicks it, and I can have my team push out a new email right away.
Hope you got 4 hours if Chester's going to call you. I'm just playing, Chester. But let's see.
Where are you aggregating the information from? Is it you said Renometer, but who else? Is it census data, or where is it all coming from?
A lot of places. So one thing that's different about Bright Investor is that we don't scrape information. So we have official licensing agreements with a variety of companies. So Rentometer, Rentcast, Real Estate API, Census, Bureau of Labor Statistics, Crimeometer, BuildZoom, a whole lot of places where our data comes from. And we license it all above board, and then we get it, and we do all the aggregation, analysis, and visualization of it into one place. And then we do all the pretty user interface design as well, so to make it all work together. So we do all that collectively and put it on the Bright Investor platform.
That's awesome.
Kevin, you still have single-family home rentals, though, right?
Yeah, we just listed one yesterday.
Oh, you want to pop? I don't know if you want Donato, you able to have him pop one in his.
In a few days, I can.
Okay.
Once it's live, it can. And we'll be doing that on August 8th at the workshop. We will be. What we'll be doing is going through a live, like, hey, here's a property. Let's go analyze it right now and see what's going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Janitor on F.I.R.E said they just broke ground on a 318 unit built to rent townhome community a few blocks from where I live. They said it's crazy. Yeah, people, I mean, there's money out there. And then Chester says, I added the 7-Eleven and Lululemon principles for Bright Investor. Those two informal data points are ridiculously accurate. Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. It's pretty crazy. You think it's always added things like Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Home Depots, when you look at those things, it gets pretty clear. Hey, there's a reason that these huge corporations put brick and mortar in those spots. So being able to follow the proverbial money, even when it's not yours, is a great way to help focus on those right areas.
Chester, did you buy your one rental at a time ticket next year for the ORAD event in Vegas? Well, you too, Janitor on F.I.R.E. I don't know if you bought it yet. But yeah, so the event's going to be in February again, everyone. So I'm not sure I don't know. Tickets are open in the school community. I'm not sure if it's out for the general public yet. But go check it out. But yeah. How's work been, Kev? You guys been busy?
Yeah, fire season picked up for sure. We've had some rigs out. There's a big fire right now up in Chico, California, which is a few hours north of us. So we've got like 22 people out there right now. So another California fire season.
When are you going to get out of California, man?
We talk about it all the time. If we didn't have family here, I mean, with young kids, like having the grandparents and cousins and aunts and uncles, I mean, we're tied down. I know someone's got to do it to help the next generation, but it's probably not going to be us.
Yeah. Let's see. So Wealth Building Journey also says he uses Google Calendar, Donato.
That is helpful, actually. I'm messaging my team right now.
Okay.
And we get on stuff pretty quick.
Yeah, I love how far it's come. Like we've talked, I was, testing it out, playing around with it from the beginning, and things have come a long way. I mean, it seems a lot more kind of smooth, I guess, in a sense. and more
Absolutely.
streamlined. Yeah. So I love
Yeah,
it.
we launched it when we launched Bright Investor. It was pretty janky, but it's the what you do with software, right? Is if you're not, they say if you're not embarrassed by your first version, you launch too late. And so we spent almost 15 months building the first version, and since then another 15 or so months, we've been able to add a lot of more information to smooth it out. And that's what the process is. It's just iteration. That's all it is. Is that you talk to people, you figure out, hey, this part is great, this part sucks, and then you just continue to improve. And with this new launch, with the report, we actually spent a lot of time with agents, investors, and wholesalers. Because we realized that market research was awesome, but a lot of folks want the market research up front, and then they want to get in deals every time, or they want to start with the deal and then check the area after they have a potential lead. So we wanted to empower people to, when they are getting those leads in and they need to figure out, okay, what's the manual work you're going through to qualify this? We need a way that Bright Investor helps you get there, because it's after that point in time that people start generally checking the area. So we wanted to build something that created that workflow around it. And then very quickly, I mean, Kevin, you as an organization, there's acquisition managers, or there's people on the ground, or there's private money lenders, or there's banks you're working with, and you have to kind of sell the deal, like, hey, this is why we like it, this is why we believe in it. And there was no real way, and I see it all the time, right? In Facebook groups, people will post their deals for sale. They're like, oh man, here's a great deal, and it's like all the research, man, you got to come check this thing out. And people don't trust it. There's a lot of concern, right? There's a lot of fear around, is this person just trying to sell me a deal at like a lemon? They're trying to sell me a lemon right now. And so we thought, well, how do you build credibility with someone instantly when you have a great opportunity for them that helps them feel safe, that helps showcase you're a professional, and gives them the data they need to actually trust you enough to go buy your deals or sell your deals? And that's where the Bright Report came from. So we worked with wholesalers in Texas and agents in Florida to craft that. So now you can do that whole A to C or A to Z pipeline for the residential space. But it's because of folks like you, Mark, who stood by us, coming, doing podcasts, doing streams, giving me feedback as we've gone along. That's really built to that journey. So without people like yourself who've been giving us insights on how to build a great software that helps people actually do what we want them to be able to do, it wouldn't be possible.
Cool, man. And Chester says, hey, you two, why don't you guys come to the ORAT event in Vegas over President's Day weekend next year in February?
I'm open to it. I'm happy to.
Can't turn down Vegas.
What is that?
Can't turn down Vegas.
See?
Last time I was there, I was at a multifamily conference I was able to speak at, but I haven't been to Vegas since then. That would have been 2022, so it's been a while.
Well, you probably my youth legally allowed to be there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that real quick then. So, sounds like Donato, you go to quite a bit of events, meetups. Like Kevin, the self-storage space, is there a lot of those? Do you go to those a lot? Is there a lot of self-storage space conferences or meetups?
There is. I don't go to a lot. I am involved in one group, the Storage Rebellion. That's how I started learning about self-storage initially. And twice a year, we have events just within our group. So I'm going to Louisville in a couple months. That's where the next event's going to be. It's like a 3-day conference where we all get together and listen to people talk, have vendors come in. We'll help each other out with deals, things like that. So I try and make at least
you have to be a part of that group, or remember I said Lauren, my friend Lauren, was interested. Can she go to that, or she has to be a part of that?
That's a good question. I think so. There's a couple different tiers. I think there's 3 tiers to membership, and I think the tier 2 and tier 3, I'll call it. I think it's called the insiders and the masters. If you're in one of those, you are allowed to go to that, or you get the privilege to go to that event. If you're in the lesser tier, which I think is called university level, you get all the trainings and the resources and the documents and things like that, but you won't be going to the in-person event. So it just depends on what your budget is and what makes sense for you. I found it to be super, super beneficial. The guy who runs it's great, Mike Wagner. I'm in a dad's group with him. So it's been great. I mean, it's definitely accelerated my learning curve into self-storage, which is why I joined.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the events are fun, man. I mean, I'm debating if I'm going to do the VIP for Vegas, though. We'll see. I'd rather just walk around and talk story.
The national trade show for storage is in Las Vegas, and that's coming up in a
Oh,
few months. I've never gone, but I've heard it's fun. People speak. They've got all the vendors there, all the new stuff, all the cool stuff. So yeah,
awesome, man. Yeah. Every time I talk to you, man, it's like, oh, I want to do self storage now.
The shiny object, right?
Yeah, it
Much
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, AJ Osborne at Cedar is, pretty. He's been doing a pretty good job on the social media side of moving storage forward as far as an asset class, and Brittany Arneson, and you got folks like Rich Sommers pushing boutique hotels and like their approach, and then folks who are in multifamily space, which isn't as popular as it was 3 years ago, but still a large space as well. So you got a lot of big shiny objects, from storage to boutique hotels to multifamily to development too.
Now the new one's going to be all the office conversions. What are people turning
Yeah,
those into? I've heard self storage. I've heard data centers. That that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we've all heard the studies, right, from out of New York, where there's maybe 1,000 properties that seem eligible for conversion. Maybe less than 5% of them really could be converted, right? And so I don't think there's truly a huge solution to a lot of office conversions, the way that we would like them to be. And when it comes to things like data centers, and I mean, clearly chips and data has become quite the commodity as far as being able to drive a lot of investment in the last couple, really almost 2 years. So I think people who are getting on the data center side or industrial type of or warehousing for e-commerce products and things like that can be a pretty interesting investment, but completely different ballgame. When you're playing with data centers or things of that nature, now you're looking at institutional, quality money coming in. And honestly, I have no idea how that even works, but it is interesting.
So what's the next plans for Bright Investor? Are you guys looking to like add like where you can find lending on it, or insurance, or what other stuff are you guys looking to add to it?
Actually, both of those things. So after we launch this, we have a couple of surprise features that we'll be rolling out as we continue to go along the end of this year. But part of that is nationwide lending. So not from us, but we have a collection of brokers and over 250 banks that inside Bright Investor, whenever you look at one of those properties, it'll instantly give you pre-qualification letters from multiple banks competing for your business, and then instant insurance quotes as well. So inside those, you'll rent comp it, analyze it, loan quote, insurance quote, report, ready to go. And then moving towards a mobile friendly as well. So you can use the entire platform on your phone is where we're going as well. So
Yes.
that's what we're shooting for.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what about, Kevin, for self-storage, has insurance been a problem for you guys too? I mean, like everywhere I talk, insurance is just going through the roof for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely something to shop around as opposed to just going with your first quote, or bringing on a broker to go get multiple quotes for you. It's killed some deals in some areas. So anywhere with wind and hail, parts of Texas, we were close on a deal and the insurance ruined it. Anything within, it used to be like 60 miles. Now it's really 100 miles of a coastline. You're getting a premium. The entire state of Florida, you're getting a premium. So it's definitely something to look at. We prefer to buy, whether it's our money or we bring money in, we prefer to buy the asset with cash as opposed to debt initially.
Oh, interesting.
Which allows us to then be a little more flexible on our insurance coverage because we're not beholden to what the bank requires of us. So we can take a little bit of a more calculated risk there. So that's helped. Obviously, if you're buying with debt, or even private money that is requiring a certain amount of coverage, then your insurance has the potential to be a little higher than what we might typically have.
What does insurance look like on a self-storage facility per door? Because I know in multifamily, like the deal beyond San Antonio, their in-place insurance was like $600 per door, and when we bought it, that went up to $1,200. Right, so that's the kind of numbers that we're looking at. So I gotta imagine in a self-storage facility, you don't have ovens, you don't have people who are leaving things on fire, like you don't have,
It's a metal
toilets
box.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a metal box. Like what? Is it go from $7 to $15? Like what
That's
are we
what I was
talking here?
wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good question. I actually have not looked at it on a per door basis. Typically, I'll look at it at a square foot basis,
Okay.
but it's so dependent upon the area. I mean, we have one in Kentucky that small, 12,000 square feet. I think our insurance is like $3,500 a year. We have
It's like a
another one
residential
in
house.
Texas
Yeah.
that's twice the size, but the insurance premium's like $22,000 a year. So it went up 6x but it's only twice the size. So it's just dependent upon the area and where the risk lies. But what
Okay.
I've learned in dealing with insurance is it's the reinsurance companies that are pushing the prices up on us consumers. So it's the insurance companies are just basically having to appease the reinsurance companies, Warren Buffett. And so they're increasing their prices as the reinsurance prices increase their prices to the insurance companies and reduce their liability. So it's just getting passed down. So we're actually the third in line to have the hit. So it's an interesting game. But there's really not a whole lot you can do unless you're at that reinsurance company level, which nobody is.
Yeah. I mean, I know in our space, you can the big appeal is to go to a bulk policy, right? And to have enough units where you can put one policy across your whole portfolio, and that can usually reduce your insurance by anywhere from 15 to 25%, which is really attractive. Can definitely turn a deal from a no to a yes. So we're definitely pursuing that on our side for the portfolio to look for how we can make those things happen. Because if we can, then all of a sudden we're competitive where other people aren't. But I absolutely agree that insurance is one of those things where cost gets past the consumers, and we don't have much of a fight against it, especially in states like Florida, California, where private carriers pull out, and now you're left with a state policy. And well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the definition of a monopoly. There's only one provider, and if you're required to have service, there's only one provider of it. It just happens to be the government. I mean, I wouldn't expect to get great savings on the policy.
Yeah, that's a huge issue in Hawaii right now for like a lot of the condos, the condo insurance. They're not able to renew the policies, or so people are having a hard time selling their properties, and at the same time, people are having a hard time buying the condos because for the insurance reasons. But
Yep.
yesterday, I talked to I don't know if you know her from X, Kevin. You know Skylar Romines? She's a commercial.
I think I do follow her. I think we follow each other. Yeah.
Yeah, so I talked to her yesterday, interviewed her, and she's super cool. But she was basically, so she started her own company, but
Okay.
she basically said, yeah, like before insurance was kind of just looked at, a simple line item, like everyone kind of just overlooked it, but now everyone's trying to like Donato, you're trying to figure out ways how you
Yeah.
can lower that cost or what strategy to use, and so that's what she's saying. Like so much people are looking at different angles and the risk, like even Kevin, you're talking about, maybe we'll buy all cash, because we feel safe with this asset or where the area is, and we can kind of minimize our insurance or whatnot. So, but yeah, she said like it's being looked at completely different now.
Yeah. And I know some people in the group that have some properties that they self-insure. So they'll go out and get, personal liability if someone, trips and falls and sues them. But as far as insuring the building, they're taking that risk on themselves. It's a gamble, but depending on the area, you can really increase your cash flow if not having to pay a traditional insurance rate.
I think it's all kind of comes down to what your investors are willing to stomach, right?
Yeah.
If your investors are cool with that, great. If they're not, okay, then what's your capital stack look like? I know that on the multifamily side, the big levers people pull are either you get large enough where you can bulk order all your fridges and materials from China and stick it in a warehouse. and then you're buying bulk, and then you just like save it for your next project, or you do your bulk insurance policy. That's really the way that you can do it. Not many large properties, in my space at least, are bought with cash. They're almost always leveraging debt financing, especially 2 years ago when you can get rates at 3%.
Yeah.
So we typically get pretty beholden to the insurance cost. But now, whenever we're looking at a deal, the first things we have to look at are, whenever I get a property that I think makes sense, is I call my insurance guy and say, give me a quote for this, and then go check out the taxes, because the insurance and taxes are the biggest deal killers right now, which again makes me more confident in the Midwest as a long-term play for real estate in the U.S. Consistently coastal areas are going to continue to decline, and people's ability to live there, whether that's either it's too expensive to insure, there's no insurance, or people aren't willing to self-insure. So I think you're going to see continual migration of dollars away from the coastal areas into metros here to the Midwest to continue to see real estate moving. And you already see that. Go look at mentions of Columbus, Ohio, Kansas City, St. Louis, Des Moines, Iowa. Go look at mentions of those on major, influencer and guru accounts, and you'll see that they've been going up over time because they're looking at where the deals are and where they actually pencil, and that's because it's the Midwest. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, we took a gamble on Kansas City in 2012. We started buying a good amount in Kansas City, and we still own there. It's worked out well. And I have a good friend. I think his Twitter is SFR_investor. His name's Ben. And he's right now in the process of raising a $50 million fund, and they're attacking single-family homes in Louisville.
Yeah.
And after learning about the Louisville market, I'm bullish on that as well. So I agree. I think there's definitely opportunity in the Midwest, and it's one of the few affordable areas with good schools and low crime in a number of these cities too.
Yeah, I mean, being able to, I think what we're going to find is what I'm really interested in is when median home prices across major Midwestern cities start to approach and then surpass the national median for the home prices. That is when I think we're at a very interesting tipping point, because now I think the locus of affordability has been erased. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think the time to purchase and invest is now in those areas, while you still have a delta between current prices and median home prices across the country. So going to a large, fund for single families in, Louisville could be a really cool play, especially as, we see demand for homes, rentals, especially even build-to-rent communities, continue to grow over the following years.
Yeah. It sounds like you're also location agnostic, within some states or within a region. How do you manage your assets, or how do you plan to manage more assets not being in the area?
Yeah. So, definitely a location agnostic. With Brand Investor, I'm pretty much able to invest where I want, because I can figure out what's going on there pretty quickly. Where other people are like, I get a lot like, I've never thought about that area, so I'm not going to invest there. I'm like, well, in about 10 minutes, I know exactly what the homes are going for, how much people make, what the rents are, how they're appreciating, if the crime's good, if there's a Lululemon nearby. So I am pretty location agnostic. So I will invest I'll be looking at 15 states at the same time, and routinely I'm getting 30 to 40 deals a day in my inbox from across the country, and it's fine, because now I'm playing on a national level instead of a local level. But when it comes to management, we look for third-party property managers currently. And so we have one that manages a couple thousand units of ours. They're in takeover currently. So we will contact them and leverage their on-the-ground contractors and infrastructure across the nation. So we partner with a national provider because we are playing on a national level. And long-term, we may bring that in-house, but if you have a couple thousand units that are already being managed effectively from a third-party provider and you have good relationships with them, it's like, why reinvent the wheel? They just pay them the 3%. It's fine. Like, who cares? It's much easier to just not have to rebuild that
Sure.
all along the way. Yeah.
Now, are you buying value-add apartments, or
Yeah.
So are they managing the construction on the front end, or is that somebody else for you?
Yeah, so usually it's a team member. So like, we're gonna buy if my perfect deal, right? And is like a 1985 to 2005 BC class multifamily value add with 40% 2 bedrooms, at least over 900 square feet, and washer dryer connections throughout, and a couple other key components with like copper wiring, PVC plumbing. And I say all that knowing that the deal that I'm hopefully going to win in the next 6 hours is a 1970 build, which is like, but like at this point, I know enough about the rules to break them. So that one, for example, they just did a $7 million renovation in the last 2 years. So I'm like, okay, so a lot of the things that I would look for are gone, but have been taken care of. So we're looking for these multifamily value add deals specifically, simply because that's where the value lies.
Sure.
All right, we got some questions coming. Let's answer this real quick. So Chester says, Donato, I admittedly haven't checked this out to see whether it's within Bright Investor. Do you think API connection with Credit Karma or other fee credit reporting apps would be useful or beneficial?
Interesting. I don't know. Maybe. Chester, if you would shoot me an email, let me know how, or in the chat here, how you think that would, what the application is for it. Like credit reporting apps as far as the consumer using Bright Investor. I mean, it's possible. We can work with a lot of people. So if there's a good use case for it, I mean, happy to take a look at it.
And then Nikki Taylor's here stopping by, showing support, but she's in Hartford, Connecticut, and she just popped in. So I'm not sure if she's familiar with Bright Investor. You think you could punch in her zip code and maybe see what her market looks like or anything?
Yeah, I can do that.
Absolutely. We got let's see, what did she say? 06401.
06401?
Yeah, in Connecticut.
Ansonia, Connecticut?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. I can share my screen here. 06401. Okay, let's see what we can do. Load it up. Let's share my screen real quick. Can you guys see this?
Yep, it's popping up. There you go.
Okay, there we go. So, I mean, home prices here are pretty crazy. 60% appreciation over the last 6 years, almost 8% per year, with some pretty wild volatility in the zip code. I mean, first thing I'm looking at an area is I look what was going on before COVID. So in this little piece right here, and there was some growth, but it pretty much within the 2 years of 2018 to 2020, home prices ended up pretty much flat until COVID happened, and then home prices skyrocketed from 200 grand up to $330,000, very, very quickly. And they took a pretty big cut. But even during this high interest rate environment, what does stick out to me is that they went back even further up towards this $360,000 range. So I don't necessarily love how volatile this market is being for home prices, and that it was relatively flat prior. And I'm also seeing the last couple months, even as let's go into March right now, that home prices were on its way down. So, I mean, really, I wouldn't really want to buy anything that's above $270,000 in this area right now. I'm just seeing how quickly it's kind of playing with that line over the last couple of years. But what I do want to check as well is rent to own ratio. So a lot of people ignore demand. So when we're looking in this area, my rule of thumb is I want to see at least 30 to 40% of the houses in the area being renter occupied, showing me there's a strong enough demand for renters. And this is right in the middle, right? 35% of the housing is renter occupied. But then I typically will look at things like how has that changed over the last decade to see either more renters or fewer renters. And so 10 years ago, 43% of the population was renter occupied. And now it's 35%. So there's been a slow reduction in the number of renter populated households here, more owner occupants here. Now, overall, there's more renters, but the proportion of them has gone down. So it's still in my acceptable range, but it's still a pretty big chunk. So I'm a little concerned about long-term rental, stability here. But that's before I need to check a couple other things like income and age. But right now, just off those two data points, a flip could make some pretty good sense, or maybe renter, long-term rental as well. But now I'm checking this area out. Let's go ahead and look at school rankings nearby. There's some okay schools here. As a reminder, we partner with greatschools.com. You'll see them on Zillow too. And so they rank 1 to 10 on a national level. So a 10 out of 10 schools like Washington, D.C., super smart kids are going to go there. So anything with like a 4, 5, or 6 is pretty like run of the mill. There's some okay schools like a 6 and a 4 over here, like this Emmett O'Brien Technical High School seems fine. There's a lot of low performing schools overall, but to be fair, my high school is a 4 to 10. So take that, go ahead and take that as you will. So not great standout schools, at least in this particular region. But let's also go ahead and check out the local franchises. Like any Chick-fil-A's nearby? No. Is there Starbucks? A couple Starbucks. There's one Target. No Walmart. This little area. No Trader Joe's. Okay, so not a lot of high income demand franchises here. Again, not a huge great sign for me in this smaller particular part of town. With some poorer schools, let's go ahead and take a quick look at what the income looks like. I would expect this is a moderate income part of town. Yeah. So the income is not high enough to warrant people coming in and doing those high income franchises. And actually, we had a kind of a drop in income here for a couple of years before on its way back up. So good to see that people are starting to make more money here, but it's not exceptionally high income. And, most people here can't afford more than $1,800 a month in rent for this zip code. So
what does the population data show you? Does it give you a graph of
yeah, let's take a look. Let's see what we can do here. So Nikki, I have no idea. I don't live in your area, so this is all I got. But yeah, this is showing the last 5 years.
But Nikki, there's also a free trial. You can check it out if you want and play around with it and get more data. But
so almost nothing here. Very little growth, like 2.2-ish%. Very, very flat in this area. Now, looks like it's kind of outside this more metro New Haven, but this part's not doing a lot of growth. Don't love it. But home prices here are a little bit cheaper, right? They're only like $300,000 right now, which is below the national median. But all in all, in like, what was that? Maybe 3 minutes of me doing this, I know the income took a dive. It's coming back up, but the schools aren't great necessarily. The franchises aren't very prominent here. Population's kind of flat, and we're seeing more owners. This doesn't really boom to me as a long-term rental spot, but I am going to check really quickly how rent growth has been performing here. So this rent growth for like a 2-bed, 1-bath in this area. Let's see. Nope, no data for that right now. Nope, we don't have rent growth data here. Let's just see what a 2-bedroom, 1-bath would rent for in this area. So you have a single family, 2-bed, 1-bath over the last 6 months. It's going to be about $1,900 for a 2-bed, 1-bath in this area. So if we're looking for a property that we want to buy here, which is, let's say, call it off-market single family, and we know the home prices are around $300,000 right now. We don't really want to pay more than that. What would a 2-1 cost me in this area? We got 3,000 leads here. Okay, we're going to have to filter that down a little bit, but let's take a look at this one, right? This is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 3,000 square foot house. Monthly payments would be about $1,900, and we know a 2-bedroom, 1-bath will rent for about $1,900. So there's probably a couple $100 of margin there, but you could probably break even on a rental here right now with where rents are currently. So all that's to say, home prices are relatively cheaper here. Rents are kind of higher for the area. But if I were to buy a rental here, I wouldn't expect it to be appreciating very quickly. And I would expect that any growth to take a longer time based on all the market data that I have right there. So
you got like a halo around you, Kevin. What's going on, man?
That's coming in through the window.
What the?
all right.
But
so there's that's what I would do. Sorry, I just kind of. There you go. That's what I would. That's what I would check out.
Yeah. So Trade Better also says he loves auto PDF operator for Bright Investor. Any thoughts on working with rural communities for more data?
First off, I love that you mentioned the PDF generator. We have not put a ton of development time into that since we launched it. Will you send me an email to Bright Investor? Because I have some questions for you about how you use it. Because I have some ideas there. So email me about the PDFs. I want to talk to you. When it comes to the rural data, It's very possible. I mean, the biggest issue is that for us, we have to find data that ideally is nationally available with high quality and affordable rate that's updated consistently. So as we get to more rural areas, it can be difficult to find things that we can verify as accurate that is also updated more consistently. So it's possible, but it's going to be a pretty big lift to grab every small part of the nation for everything. Unless you have an idea of a provider in hand, happy to talk to you about it. But we're always adding more data.
Mark's laughing at me.
First, I got Stan coming on, and his mic doesn't work.
Hey,
And
it's
I got
morning
you with
time in California. The sun's just coming up. It's coming through the window.
Oh man. I don't know if you have time, but there's a couple more zip codes that you don't have to go in as much detail. Maybe just some quick things, but there's a few more if people want maybe some information. There's let's see, where did it go?
The free trial has been great. I think it's 7 days, right?
Yeah, it's 7 days, and actually pretty excited with the new version. So with that Bright report, Mark, I don't know if you can put that link I did earlier. It's this brightinvestor.com/report. If you can put that in the live stream chat for people to check out, to the people who came a little bit later. But we're actually including that in the free trial. So without a credit card, you'll be able to log in and get property reports and start using that in a free trial on a limited basis for the 7 days. So yeah, we try to really help people out and know that this is what you need. If you're going to be doing real estate, this is kind of the thing that you need to very quickly analyze an area. Looking in the chat here too. Nikki, thanks for the analysis. I appreciate it. You got it. Hope that helped. And
yeah, there's 7-8 janitor on fire. I gotta help janitor. That's my man. He's always here supporting. So if you can do a quick one on his zip code, and maybe Esther if we have time.
Yeah, another zip code. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I want to give a shout out to Sierra who stopped by Homes and Hustles. I'm not sure if she's still here, but she's probably working on making some merchandise and stuff. Actually, she's in Oklahoma visiting her family right now.
Sure.
Have you found a reliable source where you could aggregate population projections? I found that to be pretty useful, but not always reliable depending on the source.
Yeah. So we've done a lot of conversations around long-term projections. The difficulty there is that there is a lot of personal bias in it.
Sure.
Like for me, for right now, I'm looking at historicals and I can take trend lines and go forward, which is great. But if I say, here's what I think is going to happen population wise, I have to make a choice on what factors I value the most, which is fine. But what we do is include trend lines in our stuff on the graphs for a lot of our data. And we're adding always more to show here's where things are moving, where we're projecting things to be. But I'll commonly point out to appreciation, right? If I was in 2018 and I said, hey, here's where home prices are expected to go in 5 years from now, I'd be completely wrong because COVID happened. And I can look at markets and showcase where there's huge jumps, in these growth. However, I really focus on the historical and then creating a trend line for where we think things are going to be happening without going forth and saying this is where we're guaranteeing population is going to be. Just because I want to be able to sleep well at night of the data that I'm putting in front of people as being as accurate and as updated as I possibly can. But not saying we won't do it ever. I just haven't found the right way to do it that I feel comfortable with yet.
Sure.
Okay, 78108. So right off the bat, renters, there's a lot of renters here, which is awesome. With hey, whoever this was that owns here, my property is right over here. My 200 unit I just bought is right here in San Antonio, so not that far away. So I already like where you're at. I'm gonna do a quick changeover time check here. See what's going on. Wow. See the difference there? Look at that. From 23% renters to over 41% renters, and a lot of them. Huge rental demand here. Absolutely. That's awesome. That makes me very excited to own a long-term rental in this area, which is great to see. That makes me immediately want to go to rent growth here. What's a 2-bedroom? What does rent growth look like? We should have that data there. What does a I do want to check out what a home price appreciation is going to look like there. See if we have information for how home prices are going up. Because with that much demand, I'd expect to have a pretty strong growth. Yeah, look at that. So pretty consistent gains up until COVID-19 hit, and then a huge skyrocket. And then it's gone from 420 down to around 360. So this is an example of a market where, look, home prices are up 35%, but they're already having a pretty significant pullback. So if I were you, I would not be buying any houses that are probably above 330 to 360 right now, because that's a true median. So a little concerning there. The home prices have fallen off that quickly. Let's do a quick little population check. Yeah, let's do a population check and just see what's going on here as far as demand for long term. That's solid. 5%. I like to see 1% per year. So that's 5% over 5 years. That's great. So that's strong and steady population growth in that area. Love it. And how about school rankings? Someone said charter schools, right? We do include charter schools here, right? Someone in the chat said, how do you account for charter schools? That's right here. You just click charter school. These are good schools. 5 and 6 out of 10s. Solid little school area. Franchises in the area. Is there a Starbucks? Yep. Is there a Target in this area? Yep. Is there a Walmart? Yep. Is there a Trader Joe's? No. Is there a Whole Foods? No. Is there a Wendy's? No. Right there. Chick-fil-A? Yeah, Chick-fil-A. There we go. It's indicative of all the success you need. I am going to then check really quick look at the income. I don't want to do more current data than that. Let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Whoever's investing here, you got a lot of high income earners moving here. That's a lot of potential. So I'd expect rents to be able to be increased very quickly. When income goes up by 24%, I expect rents to go up very, very consistently with that. So you get some high income earners here. This could be a really cool place for some long-term rent growth and potentially being able to do some nice flips because you have higher income folks there. Really, really cool. So let's take a look, see at what properties are available here. Let's look for let's do an off market. I don't want to buy over 300 right now. I was going to do 200 to 400. If I want to buy a single family, I want it to be at least a 3.2. And let's find a motivated seller, right? I'm absentee out of state. All right, we got 71 absentee out-of-state owners with 3-bedroom, 2-bath properties between $200,000 and $400,000 in this 1 mile circle. And I don't know, here's one. Yeah, this guy's owned it for 15 years. Absentee owner, out-of-state, bought it free and clear, no debt, owns it through an LLC or a trust, actually. But if you were to buy it full price, it's going to cost you $2,700 a month. And I don't know what a 3.2 would rent for right now. So let's find out. Rent for a single family 1.5 bed would be $2,000. So yeah, no, this does not cash flow. So if you're going to make an offer, you're going to have to negotiate a price down below where their estimated value is currently, because at that rate with that mortgage, that's not going to cash flow. But really cool, high demand area for sure.
Cool.
All right, that was fast, and I'm going real fast here.
No. Last one, then last zip code, and everyone else can sign up for the free trial, man. 79382.
I love free trials that you don't have to put your credit card information in.
Yeah, and it's
for doing that.
For us, we're actually, if you go look at other products in our space like PropStream or Deal Machines or things like that, we're actually the only one that doesn't require a credit card. Everybody else requires a credit card up front, and our goal is that we get enough interest and enough conversions and people don't abuse the free trial, that they see the value, that they know this is something I want access to permanently, and they pay. So we don't have to put a paywall up in front. But so far it's worked out fine. And we want people to get in and see, like, hey, we want to give you value up front so you know what you're getting.
Yeah. Our team uses PropStream on a daily basis. We have a number of different user accounts for that. And it's been helpful. Yours is different, but I could see it potentially down the road eliminating the need for prop stream.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm looking at other things here. You guys reach out, looking at other chats here, seeing if there's anything I'm missing. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, well, I'm thinking about
Oh, did you get
Texas.
that other zip code that I said?
Oh, what's the zip code? Sorry, what is it?
Oh shoot! Where did it go? I put something. 793. Where did it go? 79382. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, or maybe her buy box is 3-bed, 2-bath, 1350 square footage.
And she's looking for analysis on the area.
She just says, "What is the rental demand?"
What's the rental demand? Well, let's take a look at. Let's do rent to own ratio real quick, and do change over time. Right side of Lubbock, smaller little part of town. Better than it used to be. A lot more renters than there used to be in this town, so that's already a good sign. From 16% to 44%, so that's solid. I like what I'm seeing there. I doubt there's going to be any franchises out here. They're all going to be down in Lubbock, so I'm going to check. I will check the income for this area over the last, we're going to say 12 years. I'm going to save that. And let's see. Yeah, high income, going from 60 grand to around 83,000. Yeah, they're on their way up and at them. So that's solid. Higher income, more renters, generally pretty good. I am going to check out appreciation here pretty quickly. Let's see what we got here. Oof. Look at that. Home prices now are essentially where they were 6 years ago. $320,000. So that's what we call a pump and dump, people. Peak at 400, back down to around 325. Pump and dump. That's interesting. So basically, it's only up about 1.4% per year. So I don't love that. Don't love it compared to where other markets have been as far as appreciation goes. I mean, you've essentially done no gains in 6 years. So I would not recommend that for appreciation long term. But let's quickly check the population for the area, see how we're going. Not a ton of people here, only about 10,000 if you're outside of Lubbock, but it's solid. Some solid 20% growth over the 5 years with the smaller population, which I'm fine with because it is smaller part of town, but it is right outside of Metro, so largely okay. How are the new listings here? If you ever have a small part of town, I'm always really interested in how many properties are actually coming to market, and what like demand kind of looks like for properties. And yeah, so just recently they had a surge of properties be listed for sale. Overall from where they were, right? More homes are being listed for sale here, which is interesting. And then how about days on market? Are properties selling here quickly, or are they taking a long time to sell? That's another great question to gauge demand and long-term growth. Let's see here. All right, now it's about 43 days. So properties were selling pretty quick in 2021, this part of town. Now they come back up to where they normally are. So it's about like around a month and a half to sell a property here. So the fire sales of 23 days, 22 days, and 26 days are pretty much over now. So not exceptionally fast to sell here. All right, that's what I got for you.
Yeah, free info. People can sign up for the free trial, man.
Yeah.
You want to show the merch?
Go buy Brian Investor.
Yeah, you want to go show some of the merchandise right now? You want to pop that up, see what kind of cool stuff?
Yeah, happy to.
But while you're looking for that, I'm gonna give a shout out to Curtis's here. Go check out his YouTube channel also, PE turned RE. But you gotta go. This guy is cool, man. He was house hacking, his first house hack, and he had no shower in his first house hack. He would shower at the gym, shower at the mom's house, and yeah, now he's on his second house hack. But now he has a shower, so he's living large. But he sacrificed, right? That first one, he did it.
Yeah.
And yeah, now he's on his second one.
Kevin, you'll have to tell me. I'm happy to make a shirt for you. These are our shirts. We price them at cost with free shipping. We really don't try to make a huge margin on these. They're just shirts I think are funny. So we have this is probably some of my favorites. 99 problems contractors are all of them. So it's a lot. This is a bunch of real estate shirts that we get a lot of. People love these ones.
That's awesome.
Paying taxes, and I specialize in tax avoidance. We get a lot of requests for this one for the shirts. We do hats. We get a lot of addicted to real estate folks, and ask nice. I'll show you my private money. It's yeah. We get a lot of flippers by this one. Appraisals make me anxious. A lot of folks like that. So yeah, this is our store. This is brightinvestorstore.com. It's pretty simple. And all the shirts, they're high quality stuff, all designed in-house, free shipping, and we just make them because we think they're funny. And I want people to wear these because I would like to look at them. So they're pretty fun.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, so everyone go check out Bright Investor. Go try the free trial. Yeah, you guys want to talk about anything else before we wrap things up? Anything else going on in you guys' world? You guys want to put out there what you're working on?
No, same old for me. Trying to buy another rundown storage facility.
Yeah, when are you gonna retire, man?
One bad day away.
See, exactly. Yep. But options, right? You just want that option, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. I love what you guys are doing. Yeah, I love doing this. It's always fun. I'm glad people got some value out of it. They got to punch in some zip codes and see what their market looks like and see what Bright Investor can do. But yeah, man, we'll do this again, man. We'll have some fun with this, and we'll get you in some Zoom calls also, Donato. So Sundays. So I don't know if you remember. So Frank has the Wednesday call, right? But we've also started one on Sundays to kind of maybe I don't know why I started. I'm furthest away, but it's like the East Coast kind of
Gotcha.
to try to help accommodate those people in the school community that maybe can't make it on the Wednesday ones. But that's 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Sundays.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I won't spill the names, but we are coming into a lot of mentorship groups and coaching groups and organizations on August 5th, 7th, 8th, 15th, 20th, 22nd, 27th, 29th, September 5th, October 10th, October 16th, 17th, September 19th. We have a lot of events that are coming up. So if you are in a mentorship program, we'll be coming to talk to you. So happy to come speak with you guys too. And especially when the new version drops.
Yeah, cool, man. I'll set it up.
How many people do you have signed up currently?
We've had a little over 2,000 people come through Bright Investor.
Nice. That's great. Well, I can't wait to hear how many more you have in a few months. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. So talking to folks like yourself too, and be like, hey, have you thought about this, or have you considered this, or what do you think this needs next? Has been a huge component of just the growth and seeing how it works out and the little pieces that are coming into play. But it's not fast, but it is rewarding, and so we're excited for being able to keep working with folks like Mark and you guys and keep growing.
Yeah, Chester probably put in like 10 things, like if you thought about this, if you thought about that.
Yeah. We have actually weather data. We are planning to do flood mapping and natural disasters in the future. We do have that on the roadmap. So on its way.
Cool, man. Let's see. Donato, did you see my I don't know if you can scroll. He's put something for a credit card. We'll finish up with that then if we can find it. Or I gotta scroll back.
Yeah, I see it. Chester, we'll talk on email too. So happy to chat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Chester, reach out to him, man. And yeah, we'll wrap things up. We'll get you guys back on, and we'll do this. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Mark. Nice to meet you, Donato.
Nice to meet you too, man. Great to meet you.
All right, everyone. See you guys next week.
Take care, guys.